Hello friends! My name is Natalie. I am the artist and owner of NMC Design Studio, a small art business based out of Seattle, Washington. Today's video is going to be about my experience at Chibi Chibi Con, which for me was this past weekend in Olympia, but for you all when you're watching this it'll be 2 weekends ago. So I fully forgot to vlog most of the morning leading up to going down to Chibi Chibi Con. I'm still getting used to this whole vlogging thing and will forget and then remember and then forget. So in the morning I actually rented a car to get down there. Usually I take public transit to get to all of my markets that are in the Seattle area, but taking public transit from Seattle to Olympia would be like 4 hours. That is just not feasible. So I rented a car and I'll kind of go through all of the expenses for this event. I think that might be interesting. So car rental was about $65, and then gas for that car rental was about $35, and table fee was $73 after a credit card fee of $3 on top of the $70 table fee. So overall our expenses are around $170-ish. So in the morning of this event I was actually really nervous. I think mostly around the car rental bit and driving. Not having a car means that I don't drive very often, and it's not exactly a short drive from Seattle to Olympia. So a little bit of anxiety around that, less so about the actual event. But pickup went smooth, getting back to the house and loading in went smooth. One other thing I was a little bit nervous about was my fiance had said that he would help me, but he was actually working that morning, so it was a little bit of a toss-up of whether or not he would make it home in time and be let off work early to be able to come and help me at this event. But he made it. We got all packed up. We drove down without incident. There was traffic, of course, that delayed us getting there by like 20 minutes. But we got to Evergreen State College, which is where Chibi Chibi Con was held, around 11:20. And managed to load in, got all checked in, and started setting up. It was a little bit later than when I wanted to get there because usually I'd like to slate at least an hour for setup. I can usually get set up pretty much all the way in like 45 minutes, even when winging a table setup, but I like the extra time just so I'm not rushing. After getting checked in, we started setting up the table, and we got all set up by like 12:15. So about 15 minutes after Artist Alley opened, but we were all good, and then we settled in and hung out. Also, I'm on the floor right now because I'm going to show you all some of the trinkets I got from Chibi Chibi Con later, and it's just easier for them to be laid out on the floor in front of me than to try and juggle them while sitting on the chair that I usually sit on over there. So that is why we are on the floor today. I was actually a part of one stamp rally for Chibi Chibi Con, and it was a Minecraft or Mineblock stamp rally that Kiwi Nunu was running, and I was in it with Pencil Pigeon and Kiwi Nunu, so there were just 3 of us. And Kiwi had come up with a really cute way of stamping where they made some stickers, and the idea was you were crafting a diamond sword. So you would get a diamond from one person, another diamond from another person, and a sticker from the last person. And then the diamond sword sticker would be what marked when you received your prize pack. And I think the prizes were really, really cute. I made a little notepad that was based off of the Minecraft books in the game, and then we had a sticker of a Minecraft bee and then a sticker of a shroom cow. And we had about 20 prize packs to give away, and I was kind of not sure how this would go because my stamp rallies that I participated in for SakuraCon didn't go very well. I think maybe we handed out like 15 prize packs, and that was a 3-day event. So I wasn't super sure how well the stamp rally would go at Chibi Chibi Con. But at the end of the day, we ended up handing out 19 of those 20 prize packs. That was really great, and I was really happy with how successful it was. It sounded like a lot of people were really excited about the notepads specifically, so that made me really happy. I also got some trinkets from attendees, and I'm so sorry, I don't know if they have social media or anything, so I can't tag them anywhere, but there was a person who came by and asked me if I wanted a bracelet. It had this little bunny attached, and this bunny is actually so soft. And then I complimented the pins on their bag, and they offered to give me one. So it says support human artists. And then another person came by a lot later in the event, but I figure I'll show them to you at this point anyways, and gave me 2 of these stickers. And these are actually silkscreen printed stickers, which is just so cool. I have not tried doing that at all, but I think it's fun. They end up having, and you can see that it's glittery, yeah. They're glittery, and so they end up having like a texture to them. Some sticker scratching ASMR. And then we also had some friends who were coming to Chibi Chibi Con, partially because I told them about the event, but also because they just like going to conventions and things like that. So they showed up and they brought us mod pizza, which my fiance really needed. He had been up since like 4:35 because he worked that morning. So it's now like 2 p.m. Normally he would be taking a nap at this time, and he hadn't actually eaten anything. He had had some coffee, so he was running on fumes.
What do you have to say? Yeah.
I wish I had gotten a video of them in their cosplay, but again, I don't have the vlogger brain yet of video everything, so maybe we'll get there. But they were dressed up as Adventure Time characters. Disclaimer, I have not watched any Adventure Time and know very, very little about the show and the characters, so I'm going based on what I remember and what I think they were dressed up as. I think they were dressed up as Bubblegum Princess, the character who wears like the lab coat and is pink. I think that's the Bubblegum Princess. And then I want to say like Marcille, Vampire Lady. Are they gay lovers? Because I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I got that right at all. Maybe I'll go look it up later and actually figure it out myself. But Ricky, the person who was dressed up as Bubblegum Princess question mark, was handing out little candy plastic pieces. So my fiance had gone with them to kind of walk around Artist Alley while I manned the booth, and he came back and he had a little plastic candy, and I didn't know it was plastic. He set it on the table. I said, hey, can I have that? And he said yes, and I went to eat it because if you look at it, it looks like candy. And he was like, no, don't eat it. And I was so disappointed. I just wanted like a little crunchy candy to like crunch on, and it wasn't that. So that was sad. And then Ricky later told me that it's supposed to come with a disclaimer of do not eat, it is plastic. And they gave me some little gummy bear plastic pieces as well. But this was a really good event for me. In total sales, I made around $750. If you subtract product costs, that ends up being around $600, and then further subtracting the event fee and car rental fees, that ends up being around $450. So not too bad. Now let's get into the haul of what I traded for and got during the event. Let's actually start with the two prizes I got from my stamp rally buddies. This sticker is done by Pencil Pigeon, and this sticker is done by Kiwi Nunu. And then I actually traded with Kiwi for a few other stickers. So I also got these two stickers from them, sticking with the Minecraft theme unintentionally. But I love that all of their stickers are sparkly. It's always so great. Maybe we'll just continue on with the things that were traded. So this was traded to me from 8-Bit Sweetie or Han. So cute. It says, I do not wish to be perceived. And 8-Bit Sweetie was actually the person at SakuraCon who saved me with extra sticker bags when I ran out. And then we have some stickers from Dolce Skull. These are characters from their webtoon called Pink Sugar. It is so good, you should read it. You can see, also got a pin from them. And I also got another sticker from them too. This one says, I'd rather be reading gay comics, which is so true. And not final trade. I got this sticker from my booth neighbor, who I don't remember their off the top of my head, so I will put it on the screen. But it looks so cool. They do a lot of like monster art, and their stuff is so detailed and just, it looks so cool. And my final trade is this Frick sticker from Yuzaji Arts. And then a little aside from trades, but not quite into the things that I bought for myself. My friends, who I mentioned earlier, were cosplaying as Adventure Time characters, got me a couple things. So they got me this Loba sticker from Apex Legends, and then this Valkyrie keychain, also from Apex. Because these are the two characters that I play in Apex, and I play Apex with them, and they're lovely and I love them. So I actually don't know who the artist is for that. Artists, give me your business cards, please. Like for most of these artists, I'm like pretty certain who they were because I can remember. And I don't know if they're not giving me business cards because they recognize me as another artist, or if they just don't give out business cards with their things. But some people's handles aren't on their art, which I also do this. I don't put my like logo or my @ on my stickers. They're on my sticker sheets and usually stamped on my prints and like my notepads and cards and stuff. But I don't put them on my stickers, which I probably should, so that like when you look at the sticker you can see it. Or maybe I should look into like stamping it on the back of the stickers, but that sounds like so much effort. Anyways, all this to say, like if I didn't know who specifically made these stickers, who I got them from, I would have no idea, and I would have no way of really figuring it out other than asking other people. So anyways, I am gonna have to go figure out who made these lovely Apex things by referencing the map and the general direction that they told me that they purchased them at. So that will be a fun little adventure for me. Okay, on to the things that I did purchase. Where should we start? We'll start with this guy. This is the only print that I purchased. I purchased a lot of stickers, but this print is a risograph print from Boya-san, and I love their art and their art style. I think I also just really love Riso. It doesn't show up as well on camera, unfortunately, but the colors are super bright, and it's because it's not printing in like CMYK, because it's risograph. I won't go super in depth on like how risograph works. I have a few risograph prints and I want to do more still, but risograph is essentially like screen printing but in a printer. So the printer does all of the screen printing for you, but it means that you're using inks. It means that, like a lot of printmaking, you're working in layers, and the inks that you're able to use can be a lot more pigmented and bright, so you can get neon pink or like neon blue and these really bright, vibrant colors out of risograph that you can't get out of like normal printing. But I was chatting with Boyo-san about the fact that I had seen them at 2 previous events. I had seen them at Seattle Design Fest last year. I actually went to go pick up a book by Natalie Anderson because I really wanted that book. It was Natalie's art book and featured a lot of their risograph prints, as well as some of their process with risograph. And I really, really love that book. You can actually see me flip through it very briefly in my studio tour. But I also then saw them at SakuraCon, and both times I was like, I love their art, but I don't need more prints. I really need to limit myself because maybe I'll insert a clip here, but I am running out of wall space. Like you can see up here that this area is already filled with artwork. There's a wall back here that has three prints on it, and I try to be a bit more discerning this is my living room, in my living room on like what art I put up on the walls to kind of keep with a vibe and a color palette. So in here it's kind of like greens and blues and reds. But in my front entry is where I keep all of my other artwork that is framed and hung up on the wall. And so I've got a huge gallery wall, which is really fun, but also it is getting full. So I need to be a little bit discerning and slow down on my print purchasing, because if I buy too many, I'm not gonna have space for them. So seeing them again at this event, I was telling them, I've seen you at 2 previous events, held off on buying a print, so I feel like now I have to. And the chat with them was really lovely about their artwork. And then I bought a few presents for my fiance, which he's already seen them, so as long as he doesn't like come back and reference this video to remember what I bought him, it's fine. But I got him this Omori keychain. And this was from Clown Fooleries. But he played Omori and really enjoyed the game, so I like getting him Omori things whenever I see them. And then he has also played, I think, all of the Yakuza games, including the newest one, which is Pyro Yakuza with Majima. So I got him this little guy, which is Majima driving in a little car, and I didn't actually realize it when I purchased it because I haven't played the games, but this is actually a direct reference to a scene in, I think he said it was the 2nd game, but Majima pulls up to save Kiryu from being mobbed in a pink van like this one. I just thought it was really funny having Majima in a little car driving, but it is actually a reference to the games, which is really fun. And then also from this artist that I do not remember their name off the top of my head, so I will put it on the screen. I did their little gotcha pins and got the gotcha machine and a little cone. It actually wasn't the one I was hoping for. They had if I'm remembering correctly, it was a little CRT, but it could have been like an old style computer. And I can't remember off the top of my head now. But this was the 2nd one that I wanted, so I am happy with it. It is very cute. It might end up being, like the gotcha machine, might end up being a present for a friend, but I haven't decided if I want to keep it yet or not. And then I got this Toru and Kyo sticker. I don't remember their artist name off the top of my head, but Fruits Basket was like the first manga I read, and to date, one of the very few mangas that I've like finished reading fully. My middle school library had the Fruits Basket manga copies available, so I tore through them and then went and found the old anime, which wasn't that exciting, and watched what there was of that one. Then got more into anime after that because I was like, ooh, that's fun. And then I got some keychains from Sabotendi. We got this little Kirby one, which I think is gonna be a present for my sister, don't tell her. And this shaker keychain, which is just, I love so much. It's like the Mario one, so we've got the blue shell and the banana, the star and the mushroom. And then finally, we have my last purchase. I'm just checking. Oh wait, there is actually another thing that I got from Sabo Tanti that I'm gonna go run and grab because I've already put it on my keychain. Okay, I am back. I have my keys, which is a mess of keychains, but I got this little cherry from Sabo Tanti as well, and it holds all of my different keychains. I have 2 more slots here, so I need to go find what else I want to put on there. Okay, and then finally, I picked up these Maple Story things from Shroom Hive. Had to double check. Who is an artist in Portland. I was chatting with them about that. So there's this washi tape of the Maple Story slimes, and then this little keychain, the little guy. Which is just so cute. It is not double-sided, but it's so cute. I think the color just also looks so gummy. I could just chew on this guy, you know? Okay, my camera is yelling at me, or rather my phone, I film these on my phone, is yelling at me about storage space. So I'm going to wrap this up here. I hope you all enjoyed this little haul / insight into what Chibi Chibi Con was like for me. It was my first year, so I really hope that I'll be able to go back next year. I had a lot of fun and the vibes were just great. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I put out videos every Monday about my art and art business, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!